This started when I asked ChatGPT. I was like, "Yo, Chat, what was the biggest war before World War One?" Interesting question, right? Because we have World War Two, huge war, huge multinational global conflict. We had World War One, also massive 20 million casualties, or actually deaths, confirmed deaths. Massive. But what happened before, and what was the biggest one prior? And it told me Napoleonic Wars. So, first of all, we're hit with this collage of really colorful, vibrant pictures. I mean, how cool is this? Whoa. The art, it's like beautiful artwork. I've heard of Napoleon, of course. Napoleonic complexes, short guy, this hat, the pyramids. But what were these wars? So right off the bat, Napoleonic Wars, 1803 to 1815. Now, World War One is like 14 to 17. So this is like 100 years prior. So beginning of the 19th century, we have the Napoleonic Wars, which is huge. Can we see off the bat how many dead? Okay, total 4 million, 2 million. Huge. Yeah, this is a huge freaking war. In the millions. This is a war that killed in the millions. Okay, it's not the World War, but it is there's a lot of countries here. It's not just Napoleon versus the world. It's a lot more complicated than that, it seems. Look at all this. Coalition forces. And then the French Empire, which has allies. The Ottomans, again, on that side of history, on the side of Napoleon. In World War One, they would be on the side of the Germans and Austro-Hungarians. Here, Ottomans are on the side of the French. I see Prussia. Prussia doesn't exist. It's Germanish, right? It's Germanic. It's a kingdom, and it disappears. In 1918? Yeah, disappears in 1918. Okay. So it's a global series of conflicts fought between the French First Republic, don't know what that is, / French First Empire. Okay. Under the First Consul, which is such a Roman thing, right? The consuls is such that's a title. It's a distinct, not title, but position in Roman government. The consul, a very powerful position. So the First Consul and Emperor of the French, Napoleon Bonaparte, against the fluctuating array of European coalitions. Fluctuating array. So it's like this constant flux of like countries that are together conjoining to fight the French here and there. Complex. The wars originated in political forces arising from the French Revolution, which is also like for my brain. So French Revolution. What else do we have? We have the American Revolutionary Wars. We have other stuff. This is all happening at the tail end of the 18th century. A lot of stuff. And how does Napoleon spin out of this? How does he spin out of the French Revolution? Where does he come from? So, I'm going to try to grok this and understand it, but it'll take some time for sure. But, so the wars originated in political forces arising from the French Revolution and from the French Revolutionary Wars, I guess that came afterwards. So 89 to 99, and then we have 92 to 1802, and produced a period of French domination over continental Europe. The wars are categorized as 7 conflicts, 5 named after the coalitions that fought Napoleon, plus 2 named for their respective theaters. Crap. Okay, so we have the War of the Third Coalition, Fourth Coalition, Fifth Coalition, Sixth, Seventh. What about the first and second? They skipped over them. But whatever. The Peninsular War and the French invasion of Russia. Which, of course, I've heard the meme of like, Hitler was so dumb for trying to conquer Russia because the French tried that and they failed. Maybe it's that thing. I think it's that. I'm assuming they failed. Of course, this is Tsarist Russia, not the USSR. Okay, so the first stage of the war broke out when Britain declared war on France at 1803. Why? I don't know. Alongside the Third Coalition. We just jumped to 3. I don't know what's 1. I don't know what's 2. In December of 1805, Napoleon defeated the allied Russo-Austrian army at Austerlitz, which led to the dissolution of the Holy Roman Empire. No shit. So that was the final nail in the coffin for the HRE, which there's a meme that they were neither holy nor Roman nor an empire. But that ends it. So, and thus forced Austria to make peace. Concerned about the increasing French power, of course, Prussia, the German thing that doesn't exist anymore, German kingdom that does not exist, led the creation of the Fourth Coalition, which resumed war on October 1806. Okay, Napoleon defeated the Prussians at Jean Arsdan, maybe, and the Russians at Friedland, which I think is in Germany. Maybe. Bringing an uneasy peace to the continent. So what do we have so far? Wait a second, let's keep reading. The treaty had failed to end the tension, and the war broke out again in 1809 with the Austrian-led Fifth Coalition. I'm so confused. The Austrians won a significant victory at Aspern, Essling, and defeated at Wagram. Okay, so it breaks out in 1803. 1805, he defeats the HRE. Then we had the Fourth Coalition in 1806. Defeats them. And then we have war again at 1809. By the way, this whole thing again is 12 years long. It's a long time. Okay, hoping to isolate and weaken Britain economically through his continental system. Very cool. This is like an embargo that he tried to create. He being, of course, Napoleon, the French emperor, tried to create, to isolate Britain, which of course had a very powerful navy. He launched the invasion of Portugal, the only remaining British ally in continental Europe, after occupying Lisbon. And in 1807, with the bulk of the French troops present in Spain, Napoleon seized the opportunity to turn against his former ally, deposing the reigning Spanish royal family. So this guy was just fucking blood. He had bloodlust. He was just going after all of the royals. The Spanish and Portuguese thus revolted with British support and expelled the French from Iberia in 1814 after 6 years of fighting. Super powerful, by the way. Like, 12 years, he managed to really fight not just one country, but different coalitions of nations fighting him and not succeeding. It takes a very long time. I mean, 12 years is a long time, you know? So concurrently, Russia, unwilling to bear the economic consequences of reduced trade, probably from this, the continental system, routinely violated the continental system, prompting Napoleon to launch a massive invasion of 1812. That's this, the French invasion thing. The resulting campaign ended in disaster for France. Okay, so now that's that meme about Hitler and why he also failed when he tried to, the wars in Leningrad and the huge casualties on the Eastern Front in World War II. So this, I guess, happens 100 years earlier with France. Encouraged by the defeat, Great Britain, Austria, Prussia, Sweden, Russia formed the Sixth Coalition, began a campaign against France, which is like a monster. It's so strong, decisively defeating him at Leipzig in 1813. They invade France from the east, while the Peninsular War spilled over into southwestern France. Coalition troops captured Paris, forced Napoleon to abdicate in 1814 and exiled him to Elba, which is an island, and restored power to the Bourbons. Bourbons, reminds me of that word bourbon, which is like the American whiskey. Napoleon escaped in 1815 and reassumed control of France for around 100 days. No crap. Oh, and that's the 7th one. So that's the 7th coalition. So 6th, they really wipe him out, send him to Elba. He comes back, and then we have the 7th, which defeated him at Waterloo. This is crazy. This guy lived probably the craziest life, like one of the craziest lives. Because it's just, he literally created an empire that really rivaled Europe for like his lifetime. It got kicked out, came back. This is insane. So yeah, let's just. So the Allies formed the 7th coalition, which defeated him at Waterloo in 1815 and exiled him to the island of St. Helena. They should stop putting him on islands at this point, where he died six years later in 1821. What a champion, or dictator, or whatever. I mean, the wars had a profound consequence on global history, including the spread of nationalism, liberalism, civil law. Why? I don't know. But I think maybe these are things that he stood for, maybe? Liberalism? No, I don't know. The rise of Britain as the world's foremost naval and economic power, the appearance of the independent movement in Spanish America, and the subsequent decline of the Spanish and Portuguese empires. Interesting. So that kind of ties an end for me, because I was always curious about, because Spain and Portugal were like at the helm of sort of the age of exploration, right? Which happens in like the 18th century. The 18th century and the 17th century and the 16th, right? As well. So like they were this huge power like during like the age of mercantilism, but this sort of ruins those kingdoms, I guess. Interesting. Which side were they on? So yeah, Spain was on the French side. They get hammered. By the way, I'm noticing coalition, Ottoman. French allies, Ottoman. Like literally, they're on both sides. How does that make sense? After the Napoleonic Wars, the Congress of Vienna redrew Europe's borders and brought a relative peace that would last until the revolutions of 1848 and the Crimean Wars of 53. Apparently, when I asked ChatGPT, it didn't tell me about these wars. Let's just see how many casualties. Yeah, it doesn't even show the casualties, which doesn't mean there aren't. It just means that this Wikipedia page is not accurate. The Crimean War, wow, lots of dead according to Wikipedia, almost 1 million. But it's not quite the multi-million that were dead here. So 6 million, excuse me. Anyways, did I understand all this? No. Is there more to read? Yes. Are you subscribed? I hope so. I really do. I hope you're subscribed. I mean, this is a mom and pop Wikipedia page. Not Wikipedia. This is a mom and pop YouTube channel. We're not big YouTube. This isn't Mr. Beast. This isn't those. This is just a small mom and pop YouTube channel. Support it. Support your local YouTuber who's learning things. Look, I'm learning. I learned about this. Together, I hope we learned about it. I hope you understood me too. I think I rewatched one of my previous videos and I was kind of like, I was talking really fast and I was kind of slurring and not enunciating. If you're a human and not a bot, I don't care about the bots, but if you're a real person, let me know if it's clear, if I should kind of take a deep breath and talk slower, because I'm capable of doing that. Let me know. So what did we learn? We learned about the Napoleonic Wars. We learned that we need to subscribe because this is a small channel I have 326 subscribers. I mean, as of recording this, that's pathetic. That is very pathetic. Okay? So So yeah, we learned about the Napoleonic Wars. We learned about subscribing and how important it is for a small little YouTuber like me. And that's it. That's it for this one. Have a great rest of the day. Wonderful person. Bye. Wiki with me is out. Signing out.